Not escape Elle Duncan. I thought we got rid of the lady. I thought the lady was off ESPN. We wouldn't have to deal with it no more. Nope. She has resurfaced. She'll be on another network to destroy.
Just when it felt like the WNBA might finally get out of its own way, USA Network went and poured gasoline on the fire by announcing a 2026 broadcast hire that instantly sent fans into a full-blown meltdown. Timelines lit up, comment sections turned savage, and the reaction wasn't confusion, it was outrage. This wasn't a quiet, let's see how it goes moment. This was a collective what were they thinking decision that reopened every trust issue fans already have with how this league is presented to the public. Instead of signaling growth, credibility, or momentum, this move feels like a deliberate middle finger to viewers who've been begging for better coverage, better voices, and less nonsense. Now the question isn't about strategy or ratings models, it's personal. Are fans actually going to sit through this? Or are they about to mute, pirate, or skip games altogether? Because if the goal was to dominate the conversation, congratulations. But if the goal was to keep fans locked in, this might be the fastest way to push them straight out the door. So be honest, are you tuning in next season, or finding literally any other way to watch?
Away from her, man. We literally can't. Elle Duncan is slated to lead USA Network's WNBA studio coverage next season. Why? Now look, I ain't knocking you for getting your money. I want everybody to get their money, but...
So here's the deal, and yeah, it's exactly as wild as it sounds. Elle Duncan is officially the face of USA Network's WNBA studio coverage for the 2026 season. The same Elle Duncan fans remember from ESPN. The same one who's been at the center of nonstop controversy over how she's talked about certain players. And the reaction? Absolute chaos. USA Sports dropped the announcement on Thursday, rolled out the broadcast team, and put Duncan front and center like this was supposed to calm everyone down. Instead, it detonated. Now look, nobody's mad at her for securing the bag. Get paid. Climb the ladder, do your thing. But this is where fans are scratching their heads. Out of all the talented broadcasters, all the fresh voices who could have brought new energy, and maybe even healed some of the fractures in this fan base, USA went with someone who already managed to alienate a massive chunk of viewers. At a time when trust is fragile and patience is thin, this feels less like a bold move and more like poking an open wound. Make it make sense.
Comments. That's a mistake. What a joke. Now we know they're not serious about basketball on this network. Man, she's getting crushed.
The backlash was instant and ruthless. The moment the announcement dropped, the internet went straight for the jugular. The comment section turned into a battlefield almost immediately, flooded with fans tearing the decision apart from every angle. People weren't confused, they were offended. This is a mistake, one comment said flatly. Another cut even deeper. Now we know they're not serious about basketball on this network. The dislikes stacked up faster than the page could reload, each one signaling the same thing. Fans feel ignored, talked down to, and fed a product they never asked for. And they're making sure USA Network hears every bit of it.
Work did this, man. After we've watched her just spew nonsense about Caitlin Clark consistently, I'm disgusted with this. I'm not even gonna lie.
Here's what makes this sting so much worse. A lot of fans genuinely thought they were finally free. When Duncan left ESPN, there was a real sense of relief in certain basketball circles, like a weight had been lifted. People believed they could finally just sit down, watch the games, and enjoy the product without feeling like the same narratives were being pushed over and over again. No more perceived bias. No more familiar talking points. Just basketball. And then this happens. She's not only back, she's back in charge. Front and center. Running the entire studio coverage. There's no opting out. No alternate feed, no escape. If you tune in, she's there. And for a fan base that thought they turned the page, that feels like the biggest gut punch of all.
It says USA Sports names WNBA broadcast team led by Elle Duncan. After leaving ESPN, Elle Duncan is going to be very busy. Duncan signed on to Netflix to be the face of streamers' sports coverage, and now she's going to add hosting duties for USA Sports coverage of the WNBA. One of Duncan's key roles at ESPN was hosting their acclaimed studio coverage for women's basketball in both college.
Here's where the frustration really boils over. Alongside Duncan, USA Network is bringing in Renee Montgomery, a former WNBA star who now sits as vice president of the Atlanta Dream, which only reinforces the feeling that this is the same circle of names being shuffled into new chairs. No bold swings, no unexpected voices, no acknowledgement of the independent creators who've been grinding for years and actually building trust with fans. People wanted something different, something authentic, someone who feels connected to the audience. But instead it's the familiar rotation. The full broadcast lineup adds Kate Scott and Megan McPeak on play-by-play, with Sarah Kustik as lead analyst and others filling in around them. And while some of those names might be new enough to spark curiosity, all of that gets overshadowed by one decision: putting Duncan at the center of everything. And that choice matters because USA Network is about to become a major gatekeeper of WNBA coverage, with the NBA's new media deal bringing NBC, ESPN, and Amazon into the mix, and NBC Universal spinning off its cable properties into Versant. USA Sports is now positioned as a primary home for the league. Translation: you're going to see a lot of this coverage, whether you like it or not. Add in the fact that Duncan is also attaching herself to Netflix's sports push, and suddenly there's no escape hatch. Switch networks, change platforms, try to tune out. She's still there. But the anger isn't just about one broadcaster. It's about what this signals. Fans have been loud about wanting coverage that feels balanced, excited, and genuinely respectful of the players, not programming that leans into tired narratives. And instead of listening, it feels like the league and its partners keep plowing ahead, ignoring the noise. That tension is hitting at the worst possible time, too, because the WNBA is dealing with CBA negotiations that are spiraling into chaos. Talks are dragging on so long they're starting to bleed into the NCAA tournament window, throwing off the entire rhythm women's basketball has relied on for years. Free agency is stalled, players are stuck in limbo, and the usual clean progression from March Madness to the draft to training camp is completely scrambled. Analysts are warning that the lack of an extension request is a massive red flag, a sign that the two sides are still far apart on major issues, and while games aren't canceled yet, the clock is ticking. So instead of celebrating college stars and tournament storylines, fans are stuck doom-scrolling labor updates and broadcast controversies. That's what makes this moment feel so self-defeating. The league is growing, ratings are climbing, arenas are fuller, merch is flying off shelves, and expansion is on the table. This should be the victory lap, the era of smart moves that build goodwill. Instead, decisions like this feel like poking the most loyal supporters in the eye. These aren't casual viewers complaining. These are fans who bought jerseys, defended the league through years of criticism, and helped build the momentum that exists right now. They feel protective of the players and hypersensitive to voices they believe have been unfair in the past, and when those voices get elevated again, it hits a nerve. The irony is that there are countless creators and analysts who would give anything for this platform. People who live and breathe the WNBA and have earned their audience organically. But corporate familiarity won out. USA Network made its call, and now they're betting that fans will tune in anyway because they love the sport too much to walk away. Maybe they think the backlash will fade. Maybe they don't care as long as the spreadsheets look good. Either way, the response has been loud, and it's not dying down. Every appearance next season is going to be scrutinized, every take picked apart, every broadcast met with comments ready to explode. The WNBA had a chance to reset, to start fresh with new partners and new energy, and instead it doubled down on the status quo. The fans have noticed, and they've made their feelings crystal clear. This season is shaping up to be chaotic, controversial, and non-stop discourse from opening tip to final buzzer. What do you think about it?